Most marketers are using analytics wrong. You and myself, and we all have a risk of not taking full advantage of analytics because it's tempting to use it just for reporting and not for what the word and the name really indicates, which is analysis. So my first point is that there's a huge, huge difference between reporting and analysis. And what a lot of marketers do is they just report without actually doing analysis. So here's some examples. I wake up in the morning, I'm guilty of this all the time. I open up analytics and I see a trend line going up and I smile. Or I see a trend line going down and I frown. Anyone ever done this? Anybody do this every day? Right, that's totally normal, right? We all do that. But guess what? That has no effect on our marketing at all. That has nothing to do with the outcomes that we have in all of our content and all of our promotion, all of those activities that we do, right? That does not affect anything. The real way to use analytics is as a decision support tool to get an idea, to ask a question that would support that idea, and then find the answer. Based on that answer, we take an action or we don't. If we take an action, we measure the results. That is how to affect a business marketing outcome. That is how to get better at marketing. It's not just about reports. It's about analysis. So that's what this whole presentation is about. It's about taking an idea. We're going to turn our ideas into questions. And I'm going to go through a bunch of different questions that we can ask, and I'm going to go through the reports that show us the answers to those questions. And then I'm going to give you examples of actions we would take based on that. This is applied analytics. Pretty charts are fun to look at, but they don't actually affect any difference. So here's Abhinash puts it very well. He says, if you see a data puke, you're looking at reporting. If you see words in English outlining actions, then you're looking at analysis. Okay? So pop quiz. What is that? It's a data puke. That's just a report. Looking at that does not change your marketing. That's an even busier data puke, right? There's a lot more going on there. There's a very colorful data puke. This one doesn't affect your marketing at all. No, the pastel colors don't help. What's that? That's analysis. See at the bottom there, create new pages? That's going to be an action, right? There's analysis, bottom right corner, actions we can take. Analysis, right? We're supporting decision. That's analysis, recommendations, actions, analysis. So here is the difference, right? The difference is that we want to use our analytics as a decision support tool. That's what this presentation is about. So I also like to make this point. I make this early and often, and I will always remind people of this because I meet people all the time who say, I got to find someone to go do my analytics work for me and make sure that that job is done so that I can focus on my job over here of marketing. Anybody, we got a ticket, we drove. Anybody else drive here? We did get a ticket. We got a ticket in Indiana. Okay, and you drove here, right? So you were like behind the wheel and you got your foot on the pedals and the dashboard. Well, you don't have time for that. Somebody else do the dashboard work, right? That's crazy. That would be totally crazy to do that. Because the person driving needs the dashboard, right? You need the numbers. That's the difference. Unless you have this car and then one person does the dashboard and the other person drives. Like that's a very unusual way to drive. Okay, so we're going to turn ideas into questions, and we're going to find answers and turn those answers into actions. So analytics is literally organized. We're going to start very high level. This is going to start basic, and then we'll get more advanced. It's organized literally ABC. Audience acquisition, AA. Behavior conversion, BC, right? And this is also like a funnel. People talk about funnels a lot at this conference. I love funnels. We go from the awareness, consideration, action. That's acquisition, behavior, conversion, same thing. So we're going to focus on these, and this presentation's organized that. Here are the questions we ask that lead to those reports. Who is visiting? Where did they come from? What are they doing? And how well are things working? That's where we're going to generally find those answers. So we're going to start with the acquisition, or the audience reports. By the way, analytics changed this a while back. They no longer talk about visitors. They talk about users. They no longer talk about visits. They talk about sessions. That's because analytics is now universal analytics. It applies to apps as well as websites. Apps have users, not visitors. So generically, same thing. You'll hear me use these interchangeably. It's almost easier just to say visitors still. So question number one, we're going to do 12 of these. Are our visitors on mobile devices? Very simple question, easy to find an answer. So we go in and we look at audience, mobile, overview. Now you're going to see a trick I use all the time. You may not be aware of this. There's little buttons above those reports that show you different views of the same data. One of those is the percentage view. It's a little pie chart. The overview report can be displayed as a pie chart. Here I see exactly the percentage. 80% of my visitors on desktop, 17% on mobile, 3.5% on tablet. the view that makes it much easier to get this data, right? But this is still just a pretty chart. We haven't actually changed our outcomes yet.